Good morning. Welcome to United Unitarian Universalist Congregation. My name is Meg Whaley, and I am a member of this church. I would like to welcome Jay McDivitt this morning for our service today. It says up there Denise Colley, and someone made a mistake. I thought I changed it, but apparently I did not. So this is not Reverend Denise. But we'll be okay. We'll be okay. Everybody make mistakes, right? Right. So again, I'd like to welcome you, and please join us for coffee and conversation downstairs in the fellowship hall after the service, which is right down the stairs. It's so good to see everybody this morning, and it's so good to have some sunshine out there, even though it's a little chilly. I much prefer the sun and a little chillier weather than having it be dreary, so this is good. Oh, February 2nd. Interesting. Oh yeah, that's the wrong, huh, yeah. Is this the right one? With heart and mind? Is that what we're singing? No, I brought my spirit to the sea. This is not right. Aaron, you want to come up here and change it for me? Please, thank you very much. I know it's in there. It's in there. But it's not the right hymn. It's not, yeah, okay. It's okay. It's just the wrong month. Aaron will save us. Aaron to the rescue, faster than a speeding bullet, able to leap silent E. Okay, while Aaron is doing that, I am going to ask Ellen, said she had an announcement, so I'll have her come up.
Hi, so this announcement is actually from Sue Christensen, who couldn't be here today. She has, the number is kind of fluid, but I think 200, maybe 250 postcards to send out to encourage people to vote for the City of Waukesha School Board election. Again, not telling people who to vote for, but to vote. So she thought maybe if a few people could hang around after Soul Matters next Saturday or a week from today to write some postcards. We'll also probably need help with postage. I've provided some stamps. I'm not sure if they're going to be mailing those out in bulk, which will be more cost effective, but either way, loose change for postcard stamps might be helpful. Thanks. Thanks.
Sure. All right. Now take a breath and center yourselves for worship as we lean into our call for worship today. It's called Blessing the Dust for Ash Wednesday by Jan Richardson. All those days you felt like dust, like dirt, as if all you had to do was turn your face toward the wind and be scattered to the four corners or swept away by the smallest breath as insubstantial. Did you not know what the Holy One can do with dust? This is the day we freely say we are scorched. This is the hour we are marked by what has made it through the burning. This is the moment we ask for the blessing that lives within the ancient ashes, that makes its home inside the soil of this sacred earth. So let us be marked not for sorrow, and let us be marked not for shame. Let us be marked not for false humility or for thinking we are less than we are, but for claiming what God can do within the dust, within the dirt, within the stuff of which the world is made, and the stars that blaze in our bones and the galaxies that spiral inside the smudge we bear. And now please join me for the chalice lighting. Thank you, Sam. May this flame kindle within us the warmth of compassion, the glow of love, the fire of commitment, and the light of truth. Here together we scatter and nurture seeds of spirit, service, and community. Please stand in body or in spirit and sing with me hymn number 4, I Brought My Spirit to the Sea.
I brought my spirit to the sea. I stood upon the shore. I gazed upon infinity. I heard the waters roar. And then there came a sense of peace. A whisper calmed my soul. Some ancient ministry of stars and made my spirit whole. I brought my spirit to the trees that loomed against the sky. I touched each wandering careless breeze to know if God was nigh. And then I felt an inner flame that fiercely burned my tears. A bright eye rose from bended knee to meet the asking ears.
Joys and sorrows. If you'd like to come up and share something with the community, please come up to the microphone and say your name and pick up a stone and place your stone in the water to let the ripples flow out into our wider community.
Hello, my name's Chet, and my wife Sally is in Palm Springs, California for the week. I do not like being alone. I was on my way home from work the other day. I pulled into the hardware store and I don't need anything, but maybe I'll see something. I just walk around for a little while. So, no, it's been quite interesting. I don't think I could ever live alone. It's just one of those things. But last night I kind of got some courage and I said, I'm going to go to the contra dance because I love the folk dances, square dance and stuff like that. And so they had one at Prairie Hill, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going. So I had so much fun, as I always do at these dances, but it just elevated my spirits. And I recommend, I'll take all of you guys out for a date. Well, I'll go out to the country. There's another one on April 4th. It has the highest sweat per fun ratio. Everyone's sweating, having a great time. So I just had a great time. So thank you.
Hi, I'm Ellen, and Jeff said it was okay if I mention this. He's just having a ton of back pain. MRI did not, show good stuff, so we go to see the doctor tomorrow for some hopefully non-invasive pain relief. Keep Jeff and I in your thoughts. Thank you.
My name is Molly, and for those of you who don't know, the cookies are in. They're probably over there. I don't know where my mom put them, but So me and Isabel have the cookies in, but I don't know why she didn't come up. And I also got my grandpa's old computer, and I'm gonna be using that for school, so I can do homework and stuff. So that's gonna be good. And I have an email now.
I'm Paula. My joy is that we had our second pizza party of the season last night, and Shane was there as a guest, and I tried to negotiate how many he's going to sell this next auction, but he won't commit, so we may have several different sessions again.
I'm Gilles, just a rock for Ukraine, and all our other allies that are just wondering what's going on, what happened.
I'm Jennifer. Just a really quick note. We have a contract signed. We really have a minister.
I'll place one last stone in the bowl for all the joys and sorrows that remain unspoken in our hearts.
Walking with you, walking with you is our prayer.
And now I'd like to invite Molly up to read the story for all ages.
Peace. Oh. Love is powerful. Zoe, come on. Okay. Love is powerful. Maria spilled her crayons onto the table. They made a messy rainbow. What are we calling, Mama? She asked. Mama smiled. A message for the world. Maria ran to the window and pressed her nose against the glass. Far below, people walked in different directions. Buses, cars, and taxis honked and grumbled down the busy streets. Maria asked, "How will the whole world hear?" "They'll hear," Mama said, "because love is powerful." Maria climbed onto her Mama's lap. The crayons smelled sharp and new. Mama used one to write some letters, even though Mama's words sketched across the poster. They would be too small for the world to hear, Maria thought. Maria picked up a crayon. As she made her own sign, she imagined her friends in their apartments across the streets, across the city, grandmas, grandpas, a plane ride away, and all the people in their countries. Maria wondered, how will the whole world see our message? Mama hugged her close. "They'll see," she said, "because love is powerful." Mama handed her a coat And then they both laced up their shoes. Maria tucked her poster under one arm and held Mama's hand with the other. They slipped through the elevator door. Down, down, down they went, all the way to the lobby. Maria hopped onto the sidewalk, then stopped and looked up. The street was packed with people, more people than she'd ever seen in her entire life. Maria tugged on Mama's arm and asked her to kneel down. Then she whispered in Mama's ear, "Mama, it's loud, and there's so many people. They won't hear our message." Mama said, "They will, little Maria." Mama lifted Maria up, and for a moment she felt like she was flying on top of Mama's shoulders. Maria could see the crowd swell for blocks, hundreds and thousands, even hundreds of thousands of people marched down the street. Some people held signs like Maria's, all saying different things. Everyone cheered as they walked together. Mama joined them. Maria bopped above the crowd like a canary fluttering over the streets. She felt as tall as one of the buildings. Maria raised her sign for everyone to see. Even though she was small and the crowd was very big, so big, she didn't think anyone would hear her. She called out her message. Through the roar, her voice was heard, and someone shouted the message back. Maria yelled again, and some more joined in. Again, she yelled the message. This time, when the crowd called back, Maria's message rumbled down the streets and echoed off the buildings. It was as loud as breaking waves. Love is powerful. Okay.
And that is the real Mari.
Oh, I pronounced it wrong.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
Thank you so much. You can probably skip that. Okay. Now it's time to collect the offering. Please give generously. I'm going to sing a song for you while the offering is collected. And the song is called Show Me, and it's by Audrey Assad. And I was doing some research on the song, and some things that I felt about the song. I've been listening to it for a number of years now. And I agree. Audrey said that it's not about wanting God or anyone to take your pain away, because the pain is worth something, and we need to sit through it and go through it. And when you're there with someone, when you're going through that pain yourself, just wanting that person or whatever deity maybe, or just something when you say that prayer, just be with me. I just want someone to be with me. And we have something to learn from that pain. So just leave me here for right now, be with me. So that's what the song is about. And I'm going to try to do it justice. We'll see.
Tangle me in soil and let my roots run wide.
You could raise me like a banner in the battle, put victory like fire behind my shining eyes, and I would drift like falling snow over the embers. But for now, just let me lie. Bind up these broken bones, mercy bend and bring me back to life, but not before you show me how to die. Set me like a star before the morning, like a sun that steals the darkness from a world asleep, and I'll illuminate the path you've laid before me. But for now, just let me be. Bind up these broken bones, mercy bend and bring me back to life, but not before you show me how to die. No, not before you show me how to die. So let me go like a leaf upon the water. Let me brave the wild currents flowing to the sea, and I will disappear into a deeper beauty. But for now, just stay with me. God, for now, just stay with me.
Thank you so much for that. A reading from Luke. Jesus, full of the Holy Spirit, returned from the Jordan and was led by the Spirit in the wilderness, where for 40 days he was tested by the devil. He ate nothing at all during those days, and when they were over, he was famished. The devil said to him, "If you are the Son of God, command this stone to become a loaf of bread." But Jesus answered, "It is written, one does not live by bread alone." Then the devil led him up and showed him in an instant all the kingdoms of the world. And the devil said, "To you I will give all this authority and their glory, for it has been given over to me, and I give it to anyone I please. If you then will worship me, it will all be yours." Jesus answered, "It is written, worship the Lord your God and serve God alone." Then the devil led him to Jerusalem and placed him on the pinnacle of the temple and said to him, "If you are the Son of God, throw yourself down from here, for it is written, God will command the angels concerning you to protect you, and on their hands they will bear you up, so that you will not dash your foot against a stone." Jesus answered, "It is said, do not put the Lord your God to the test." When the devil had finished every test, he departed from him until an opportune time. And The Second Coming by William Butler Yeats. Turning and turning in the widening gyre, the falcon cannot hear the falconer. Things fall apart. The center cannot hold. Mere anarchy is loosed upon the world. The blood-dimmed tide is loosed, and everywhere the ceremony of innocence is drowned. The best lack all conviction, while the worst are full of passionate intensity. Surely some revelation is at hand. Surely the second coming is at hand. The second coming, hardly are those words out when a vast image out of Spiritus Mundi troubles my sight. Somewhere in the sands of the desert, a shape with lion body and the head of a man, a gaze blank and pitiless as the sun is moving its slow thighs, while all about it reel shadows of the indignant desert birds. The darkness drops again, but now I know that 20 centuries of stony sleep were vexed to nightmare by a rocking cradle. And what rough beast, its hour come round at last, slouches towards Bethlehem to be born? Friends, it is a gift to gather again with you around this flame of truth. Years ago, someone I dearly love and whom I firmly believe loved me shattered my trust. I found out they had been lying to me about very important things, and it broke my heart. The next time I saw my spiritual director, because I have one of those, I told her what had happened, how hurt I was, and how it was really messing with my sense of truth about what I could and could not count on. I kept saying, how could I ever trust them again? And if I can't trust them, how could I trust anyone? In response, she simply asked, well, do you love them? I said, that's not the problem. I can't trust them. That's not what I asked, she said. Do you love them? Well, how can I love them if I can't trust them? I replied. Well, if you didn't love them, would it hurt this much to find out that you can't trust them? I guess not, I said. Then there's your answer. Don't trust them. Just love them. And then she gave me a mantra that has stuck with me for nearly 2 decades. Trust God, love people, and never confuse the two. Trust God, love people, never confuse the two. Indeed, some of the deepest hurt that we experience comes when we place our trust in the wrong people or things. Partners, parents, colleagues, children, politicians, parties, they will all disappoint us. Wealth, popularity, power, health, security, buildings, youth, strength, what we call beauty, they will all fail. The world and all its people are fundamentally untrustworthy. In my tradition, we blame all of that on sin, a catch-all word for what thermodynamics calls entropy, and what Yeats captured in poetry. Things fall apart. The center cannot hold. We set ourselves up for failure whenever we place our trust in anything finite, no matter how precious and good and true it might feel. No matter how dear someone is to us, in fact, especially when they are our closest friends or lovers, they will inevitably disappoint us. Because we are all broken people, living in a broken, breakable, and breaking world. I think we all know that deep down. It sucks to be reminded of it, as we are when friends betray, lovers deceive, or fortunes fail. But when we are honest with ourselves, we know how untrustworthy we are, how prone we are to fall apart. And if we're not careful, this realization will lead to despair. but if we are wise, or better yet, when we surround ourselves with wisdom. The dark night of broken trust can become the dawn of faith. Friends in recovery call this the realization that only a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. In Islam, it is the confession that God alone is great. In Christianity, it's the prayer that God's kingdom come, God's will be done. For our kings and kingdoms will fail, and all our wills and wishes will fall short of what is truly good and right for ourselves, our neighbors, and the world. In physics, it is the awareness that while entropy and man-made destruction tear things apart, life in all its complexity and beauty and brilliance finds a way to endure, emerge, and evolve. And for all you hippies out there, it is the life-giving belief that while the arc of the moral universe is long, and seemingly longer every day, it does indeed bend towards justice. In my tradition, this week marks the beginning of the season of Lent. This coming Wednesday, we will gather to remember our mortality, the bedrock truth that everything returns to dust. That's where we came from. The soil of Eden, the stardust of the Big Bang, it's all just dust, our beginning and our end. It is devastatingly humbling to remember how breaking and breakable we are. And thus begins a 40-day journey of contemplating our and the world's brokenness. Some folks give something up, others might take on a new practice. Most of us know that these promises and practices are inevitably as lasting as the New Year's resolutions we all abandoned the second week of January. But it never hurts to try a little intentional reflection and redirection, some quiet contemplation about how we and the world might be different if we shuffled our priorities a bit. Even if we're playing hymns on the deck of the Titanic, no act of beauty is ever wasted. The reason this season lasts 40 days, not including Sundays because grace, is to recall the 40 days that Jesus spent in the wilderness being tested by the devil. And now before your mind gets lost in Dante's Inferno, you should know that the Greek word that gets translated as devil has nothing to do with a horned imp carrying a pitchfork. A better translation is the accuser, but the word literally means the one who throws or tears apart. The one who throws it in your face, to divide your mind and distract you from your path, to make you doubt, stumble, and fall. And it's no coincidence that this crap thrower shows up after Jesus is utterly famished from 40 days of fasting. With Jesus running on empty, the devil is ready to fill him up with lies. Not unlike a corrupt politician preying on people's economic insecurities and anxieties to fill them up with hate and lies about their neighbors, but I promised myself I wouldn't go there today. The tests that Jesus faces are all about trust. The Spirit brought you here and made you hungry, but you can do anything you want. You're a man, after all. Eat and be full. Surely you deserve it. But Jesus knows that bread molds and bodies fall apart, but God's promise endures forever. After all, if Jesus did not know hunger in his bones and the sting of death in his very flesh, then how could he ever have a word of grace to share with the hungry and dying folk like us? The world is mine, says the devil, and reading the news, he may have a point. And I'll let you have it if you just trust me. But Jesus knows that the devil may be pulling the strings inside the palace walls today, but every kingdom will fail, every palace will crumble, and every king will die. Even the one who will soon be called the King of the Jews. And when it all comes crashing down, only God is known to breathe new life into dust. And finally, God promised to protect you. Let's see if God was telling the truth. Throw yourself down and let the angels catch you, like the ancestors promised. But Jesus knows he will be thrown down, and no one will be there to catch him. He will cry out, forsaken and alone. He will feel in his bones what everyone knows but hates to think about. We all die, and we all die alone. Except, even there is more. That holy more that only a power greater than all the world's powers can give. And so, as the ancient Christian funeral liturgy so beautifully sings, all of us go down to the dust, but even at the grave we make our cry, Alleluia. That is, praise God and God alone. So that's what this season is for. It is a gift to be reminded of how vulnerable we are and how there is but one thing that can be trusted when everything else falls apart. Because being reminded of how untrustworthy the world and we are frees us from the fear of failure, ours and others. Knowing that even our dearest friends will fail us, we are free to love them as they are, in all their brokenness, not as we wish they would become. We hold each other accountable, institute appropriate boundaries, guard our bodies and hearts from unnecessary hurt, of course, but underneath and above and beyond all that, we simply love. Love enough to forgive. Love enough to admonish and correct. Love enough to keep some distance and then come back together. Love enough to welcome strangers that we are programmed to hate and fear and not to trust. Because trust isn't the point. Love is. And the same goes for us. Knowing how broken and breakable we are, we can let go of our unreasonable expectations for our own strength, success, and invulnerability. We aren't trustworthy either. But good God, we are lovable. Infinitely so. But that's not all my spiritual director taught me. Trust God, love people, and don't confuse the two. God, by whatever name we call her, is not easy to love. From Job to Jesus, the heart and mind of the divine, the eternal, the universe is inscrutable, often terrifying and absurd. If faith depends on how we feel about God, if it depends on us loving God, we are in a hell of a mess. We must be free to rail at the heavens, scream into the abyss, raise holy hell in lament. We must take out all our frustration at our own and others' failures on God, so that we don't just heap more judgment and vitriol on our neighbors and ourselves. God can take our rage. The world has had enough. What the world needs now is love. And now every one of you will be singing that for the rest of the day. Love for all the broken people and places in our bodies and our minds, our homes and families, our neighborhoods and cities, our countries and our world. Love that covers a multitude of sins. Love that forgives. Love that fights for dignity and justice. Love that lets go of resentment. Love that welcomes the stranger. love that displaces shame and bathes the whole self in grace. And so you are invited today, this week, this season, or whenever the Spirit moves you, to step into the wilderness of a vulnerable world, to be in the company of other fearful, failing, falling apart people, without judgment or shame, to rest in the gift of knowing that the world will turn without you, that the fate of the universe was never in your untrustworthy hands, and to discover what it means to simply love ourselves and our neighbors with the time and energy we have left before we too return to the stardust from whence we came. And let us trust that the universe, in all its awesome terror and splendor, will endure, evolve, emerge, and make all things new by God's trustworthy grace and work alone. Amen.
Please stand in body or in spirit and sing with me hymn number 1008, When Our Heart is in a Holy Place.
When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when we trust the wisdom in each of us, every color, every creed and kind, and we see our faces in each other's eyes, then our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when we tell our story from deep inside, and we listen with a loving mind, and we hear our voices in each other's words, then our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, share the silence of sacred space, and the God of our heart stirs within, and we feel the power of each other's faith. Then our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place.
I didn't write down, and I can't remember the name of the person who wrote these closing words, and I should know because I follow her, but her name is just gone from my brain right now. So if you want to know, I can tell you later. One of the things I really like about her writing is that when she talks about Lent, she said a lot of the things that Jay brought up today in the sermon, that Lent is a time for all of it, for feeling the bottom, feeling the top, that it's really a time to just gather and know that life is really that balance of everything. So our closing words. These days of despair, reality speaks to us clearly, so we approach carefully, hesitantly, barely ready to hear the hard truths we long to be told about the beauty and terror of mortality. How strange it feels, so right and so good, to move forward together, wearing our finitude like a badge. A mess of ash, a reminder, you are dust and to dust you shall return. How strange it feels, so right and so good, to stand at the edge of awareness, the balance point between being and non-being. I catch my breath as I look and see shining faces. I see it all in an instant. How precious, how holy, how fleeting and infinite each imperfect life. How beautiful, how stubborn, how unfinishable each single existence. We wear this truth moving forward together, our dust shining like radiant hope. Blessed be.
Feel free to sing along. Morning has broken like the first morning. Blackbird has spoken like the first bird. Praise for the singing, praise for the morning, praise for them springing fresh from the world. Rain's new fall, sunlit from heaven, like the first dew fall on the first grass. Praise for the sweetness of the wet garden, sprung in completeness where his feet pass. Mine is the sunlight, mine is the morning, born of the one light Eden saw play. Praise with elation, praise every morning, God's recreation of the new day. Morning has broken like the first morning. Blackbird has spoken like the first bird. Praise for the singing, praise for the morning, praise for them springing fresh from the world. Thank you.